Today I'm going to show you how to use the widget offer within Test and Target. The widget offer is a very powerful offer and it allows you to run server-side content as part of your test plan. It's a little bit different from the other offers that allow for server-side content generation in that it accepts a parameter of offer ID, which makes it even that much more dynamic so that I can use that as a common key to tie different systems together. I've gone ahead and created a really basic demo to show you how this works, but hopefully this walkthrough will get your mind thinking about how you can use dynamic content in your optimization practice and how it could be potentially used to tie different systems together to really enrich the type of testing that you're doing on your site. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to walk through the page code that I've set up for this demo so you get an idea of what we're doing. So I created that really basic box on the page where we're going to swap content in and out of. You'll see the basic inbox create function. You're probably used to seeing that if you're used to running or writing TNT code. But then you'll see that the line highlighted here, I've gone ahead and created a second block of script which is calling the inbox update function so that I can pass in the actual offer ID into my inbox, which I called my widget. So seems really simplistic. Took a lot of hours of trial and error and banging the head against the desk to get here. So let's walk through how we get the offer ID into the widget, and then we'll come back and talk about the widget offer itself. So if we go over to Test and Target, a widget, or excuse me, a plugin is really just a block of JavaScript code that we want to associate with an inbox load, and we want that to execute on the site. So I've gone ahead and created a new offer called Offer ID Plugin, and if we go ahead and take a look at that, it's a really simplistic block of JavaScript code that is capturing the offer ID and assigning it to a variable that I've called TNT offer, and that's going to expose that on the page so that we can use it and pass it in to our inbox. So that's the offer setup, and then there's just one additional step where we have to create a plugin. If you've created the Test and Target to Site Catalyst plugin, which is a really popular integration, you probably already have a plugin sitting in here. So you can see that mine is here. I've gone ahead and clicked on the Add JavaScript plugin, and I've created a new plugin called Offer ID Plugin, and we'll go ahead and look at the setup of that. So again, I've named it Offer ID Plugin. We're going to serve it on all inbox requests, and here's where I tie that to the offer I created. So if you remember previously, I called that offer ID plugin, so that's going to make the tie there. We're going to serve it on all inbox requests, and we want to serve it in production. I'm going to go ahead and approve it, and then I've saved it. So now what that does, if we toggle back over to our page code here, when our inbox runs, this TNT offer variable is now available to us, and the offer ID of the offer that I receive as a unique visitor to this campaign will be passed through that variable into my inbox. So now it's available to be passed into the widget. So because we're using a widget offer, and I'm using this offer ID parameter that's associated with it, it's going to pass that value into my widget. So what is a widget offer? A widget offer really is, it's kind of like a broker. So it's going to sit between Test and Target and my server-side system, and it's going to do a handshake between the two. And we're going to use the offer ID as the key that ties the two systems together. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this widget file looks like. For our example here, the setup is that I've got a CMS. I want to reach out and pull some data from it and dynamically insert that into my test based on the offer that I received as a visitor to the test. And again, we're going to use offer ID as the key that ties the two systems together. So I've got a small block of PHP code here that's doing a connection to my CMS. It's just a database. And then I'm going to do a select from a table where offer ID, again this is the dynamic offer ID that's being passed in, matches to an offer ID in my table. The way that this is set up is I'm treating my database here as a kind of a poor man's CMS, and I've associated an offer ID in that table to a chunk of HTML content that I want returned when this query is successful. So the offer ID is passed in, it does a select from my widget table. I've got this in here just so I can show you that this is dynamically updating the query and the query that's actually executing against that. But here's really what's happening and what's being passed back to Test and Target is after that query runs and matches up the offer IDs in my database to the offer ID on the page, it's going to return the content that's associated with that ID and show it to the user. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that runs, and then we'll talk through a little bit of the setup. So if we look at my test page here, This is my default content, and I've set up some basic targeting rules just so I can toggle between the different experiences to show you how this demo works. So I have an experience called Cowboy, and you can see here that my query has been dynamically updated based on the offer that I received, and the content has been updated on the page. I've got another experience called Lacking. I'll go ahead and run that offer, and again you can see that the query has been updated. It's now pulling different content in, and I'm dynamically showing that content from my CMS. It's not hard-coded in Test and Target. So let's take a look at how we actually got that set up. So if we go into the offers I created, you remember we had a Cowboy offer and a Lacking offer, and there are two different widget offers that I've created here. And all the widget offer does is points to my widget file that's sitting on my server. So I called mine widget_offer.php. So if you look at the setup for both of these, the only thing that's different is the actual name. They both point to the same file. It's the logic within the file and the dynamic key that's passed in that does the different content creation. If we go over and look at our campaign, we have three experiences. We have our default content, and then again we have our Cowboy and our Lacking content. You can see the targeting that I had here just so we can quickly toggle between the two, and then associate those with the same widget offer. So again, when this runs, it's going to pass that offer ID over. It's going to query the database and then return the content based on the offer that I received. So again, this is a really simplistic example, but I hope it shows the power of what could be done. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you.